Hey guys, what's up? This is Mario here, bringing you guys another video, and today we're going to be going over the Destiny Taken King trailer that was released for E3 yesterday, so hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this, and so here we go. The first thing I want to say is that this will be a trailer breakdown, and then afterwards I'll be breaking down all of the stuff on the website as well. I'll be going over all of that and giving you guys some more information on the subclasses and the expansion as a whole. And then the second thing I want to say is that there'll be a link in the description if you want to watch the trailer in its fullest. But we're going to be going through it like bit by bit. No, we're not going to let you watch it and then I'll break it down. We're going to go through the full thing and I'm just going to talk over it a little bit. And so let's get right into that. So to begin with, we can see that there is this massive hive ship that is just coming through into the scene, and you see I've just stopped it there. And this is actually called the Dreadnought, we believe, and this is going to be a massive big ship where Oryx, who is the final boss of the raid in this expansion, this is going to be where the final boss kind of like lives, and that's where he hides out in this massive Dreadnought ship. But we'll learn a lot more about the Dreadnought if you stick around until the end of the video. The rest of this next part is just this green, weird, oozy stuff just going through the middle of the ship. And like I say, there's some like commentary in the background on the actual trailer. And so if you want to hear the actual audio, you can go to the link in the description and watch the full trailer. But then we get to this circular thing. This I don't think this really means much, to be honest. But who knows? It could mean freaking anything. And then we come to the Bungie logo, of course. And then this was the next interesting bit that I wanted to stop at. So this is obviously a new location. We've never seen this bit before. This maybe just for cinematics, but in my opinion, this looks a little bit more like a playable area. I don't really know yet. I do know that there will be a new location, whether that be a planet or whether it be the Dreadnought ship, but I do know that there will be a new location that you can go to and actually like patrol missions in and stuff like that. So that will be very exciting, and I don't know if this is it, but it's going to be probably an explorable area to some extent. Then we can see a bunch of explosions in just a second here. Boom, boom, and that's basically it. And then this bit just goes over how we killed Crota, which is the son of Oryx, with his sword and blah, blah, blah. And then we come to this bit, which I wanted to stop at real quick. And as you can see, this is Saturn. And so Saturn maybe is like a potential new area that we may be able to go to. I don't know this for certain because we actually have, I don't think we've seen any gameplay of Saturn. If this is even an area we can explore. But it probably means that even if we don't get it in this expansion, in one of the next ones we will get to explore Saturn at some point. Then we see a member of what looks like the Cabal get sucked into this weird portal thingy, and he just gets disintegrated. So I think that this is Oryx basically, and I'll explain this in later on in the video again. But this is basically him turning other enemies into what are called the Taken, which are basically like enemies that have been robbed by the darkness itself and kind of changed. And I think that's what it is anyways. And so yeah, that's something interesting that I thought I would point out. Then we see a bunch of enemies just spawn in here. You can see, I don't really have much to say about this, but it looks like that this will be the Taken race of enemy. And some of them do look similar to other enemy types like the Fallen and the Cabal, I have noticed that. Then we get our first look at Oryx, who is this actually massive, weird, spooky wizard thing with like claws for hands and stuff like that, and he's got bat wings, as you'll see a bit later on in the video. But yeah, that's Oryx. This is our first look at him in the actual trailer. As we continue on, we can see a few new bosses that we'll probably have to face at some point, and most of them look pretty damn cool. But the next thing I wanted to talk about was this, which, as you can see, we have 3 Guardians walking towards this massive bone structure. Now, I don't know if this is on the Dreadnought ship or whether it's on a planet, but it does not look like a ship to me. And so I think that this is either the entrance to the raid, or it's something like that, but it looks like a very interesting location, and will probably be explorable, whether in patrol or in a story mission. After this, we can see that we have a new, like, corridor area kind of thing, and then we have a new planet, it looks like. I'm not sure where this is. It looks like the moon to me a little bit. But then we have this image, and I pause it, first of all, because of the new location thing again. It looks kind of interesting, and I thought I'd just show you guys it again. But then on the left, you can see we have this massive vat of black blob in the sky. And I wanted to point this out just because it looks a bit interesting. I think this is how the Taken will spawn in. But it does look kind of interesting. I just wanted to show you guys that in case you guys may think of anything that it could be. So the next part of the trailer gets pretty interesting. So first of all, we have the Guardians just shooting, but then we have this, and this is going to be the new Hunter subclass, which is essentially going to be like a Void Hunter class, and then we're going to have the Arc Warlock and a Solar Titan. But this is very interesting. It's got like the ability, I'll explain a bit more about it later, but it's essentially like a gravity bow kind of thing, and it does look pretty cool, and you'll see it a little bit more later in the trailer. Then we get to see the gravity bow in action a little bit, and then after that we move on to the Warlock's new subclass, which is of course the Arc Warlock. And I just wanted to pause it here because, as you can see, the super ability is going to be kind of like this like thunder that you can shoot out of your hands, which I think will be really interesting. I wonder if this will be kind of like the Blade Dancer, where when you use it, the more you like shoot it, the more the energy goes down. I think that's what it'll be like. But this looks very interesting. This looks like the best super in my opinion, but that's my opinion, and probably people will disagree with me there. After this part, we get to see the new Titan Super, which, as you can see, is like a solar. It's of course it's a solar ability, but it's also like this hammer, and I think you can either throw it or you can donk enemies on the head with it, and it's pretty damn cool, to be honest. But also, something I wanted to point out is that in the background you can see that the Guardian is on Mercury, and you can't use supers in the lighthouse, I don't believe. I've never actually been to the lighthouse though, so I wouldn't know. But I believe this means that there'll be some new explorable area on Mercury, whether it's a story mission or a patrol mission. But this is probably going to be really cool, and I can't wait to see if we're actually going to get to go on Mercury in patrol for the first time. Now, from this point, I actually didn't see much interesting that caught my eye for a little while, apart from some new areas that we'll be able to explore, probably some new gear that we'll be able to get, stuff like that. But most of this is actually just gameplay, just with like loads of action and boom, boom, I can shoot everything kind of stuff like that. And I actually didn't see anything interesting. I didn't see much that intrigued me for quite a long time. And soon, it'll be very soon, I promise, we're going to get to the next bit where I'm going to just pause it and you will not have to listen to my voice blabbering on, but you can see some new locations, some new just stuff. And here's the next interesting part, and this is of course a full-on image of what looks like Oryx. And this looks pretty freaking cool because he's got his bat wings and he's got his sword and he's just pretty cool in general. And so I like the look of this picture. I can't wait to be able to fight this guy on September 15th. And that's basically the end of the trailer. You've just got this next little bit where it's just like wavy and wiggly and wiggly, and then there's like Oryx there, and then it's going to zoom in a little bit, and then we're going to get to see, of course, the Taken King, the branding at the end of the trailer. But after this, they announced something a little bit cool as well, which is a Taken King Ultimate Edition. So you're going to be able to get all of the expansions, Destiny, and the Taken King on one disc if you haven't already bought the game, which I think is really damn cool. And I think that if you haven't bought Destiny yet, this is the perfect time to buy it. I would buy this Taken King Ultimate Edition. You'll probably be able to get a discount on all of the expansions and have a great time. So that was the trailer breakdown for the Taken King. That was revealed at E3, of course. But now I want to talk about all of the stuff that was on the Destiny game website after the trailer was announced. And the first thing that I wanted to point out is the thing at the top, which is basically just a description. The first bit is that it says a new enemy awaits, and it says, a dark shadow has fallen over our worlds. Oryx, the Taken King, is hell-bent on vengeance and is raising an army of corrupted Taken forces by manipulating the darkness itself. You must find a way into his impenetrable dreadnought ship to fight the Taken King before he and his dark army consume our civilization and bring our solar system to ruin. So essentially this is of course just kind of like the general idea that Oryx is going to come and take over the world and we have to kill him. And then it says, the next great adventure, Destiny the Taken King, the next great adventure in the first-person shooter Destiny universe, introduces a new story campaign and quests, new enemies to fight, new locations to explore, new strikes and crucible maps, a new raid that will put players to the ultimate test, and more. To stand up to the challenge, players will have access to 3 new devastating Guardian subclasses and a massive arsenal of weapons, armor, and gear. So then we have the next part of the website, which is explaining more about the activities that we'll be able to face, as well as the new Guardian abilities. So let's begin with the left side, powerful new abilities. To battle back the darkness and the Taken army, players will get brand new subclasses with new supers. Warlocks will now harness the power of an electric storm, Hunters will carve a bow formed with gravitational void energy, and Titans will summon a flaming hammer that can sear their adversaries from a range or deliver a devastating melee impact. So evidently this is just going over the new subclasses and giving it a little bit more description than was done in the trailer. Then we have the new campaign. A massive hive dreadnought ship looms in the rings of Saturn. Oryx, the Taken King, has arrived in our solar system, bringing with him a corrupted army to exact revenge on the Guardians who destroyed his son Crota and to consume our worlds. Arm yourself with newfound abilities, weapons and gear, defeat the Taken hordes, make your way on board the dreadnought, and face Oryx himself within the inner sanctum. And then we have the final bit, which is new activities and rewards. Adventure through new strikes featuring powerful bosses, follow more quest lines that lead to powerful new gear, and brave the next major raid to test 6-player fire teams. Continue leveling in Destiny and fill your arsenal with brand new weapons and armor, find and collect new powerful exotics. So this evidently just reveals that there's going to be a new story. Hopefully it will be a better story than was in the base game. And then of course we get the new exotics, new gear, new raid, new strikes, all stuff like that. Then we have a better description of Oryx the Taken King, and this is that description. Some scholars say that it was the vile children of Oryx that first crawled from the ashes post-collapse. His brood grew quietly but quickly enough, spawning armies of hive loyal to their king deep within the caverns and shadows of our worlds. Among them was Crota, the god knight whose offspring poisoned our moon. Crota and his armies would have infected the earth were it not for the efforts of Eris Morn and the Guardians who heeded her warnings. Now Crota is dead, body and soul extinguished by your hand. Oryx, armed with a dark power beyond anything we've yet to face, is coming to claim his revenge. The next description on the website is of the Taken, which is the new enemy race that will be added in the Taken King, and the description of them reads, Oryx wields the ability to control a twisted army of vile corruptions known as the Taken. These new enemies have been wholly consumed, possessed by the darkness, bodies and minds twisted into service of their king. Now they are bent on a singular purpose, our eradication. Now, so far, these look like kind of like morphs, like weird, like redone versions of all of the enemies we've already seen. Like in the background there, you can see that there's a knight, but he's got like this weird weapon, and he's all white, and he's got this weird, just like one eye. So obviously these are going to be like twisted creations of enemies we've already fought, but I actually like the idea of that, and I hope this turns out being a really cool idea. Finally, we have a description of the Dreadnought, which is the new ship where Oryx will be hiding, and this is the description. The Dreadnought's massive impenetrable hull is feared to house a dark labyrinthine lair. Pathways to ancient hive who have pledged their loyalty to Oryx and use their inscrutable shrines to empower and protect their king. You will be the first to venture within, you will be the first to face them. And so this is obviously going to be one of the new locations that will be added. Like I say, I don't know if Mercury and Saturn will also be added, but it looks like that we'll be able to explore the Dreadnought. So the final thing we're going to be talking about in this video are the 3 new subclasses. So as I've mentioned previously in the video, there are going to be 3 new subclasses that are going to be added in the Taken King. Now these subclasses are for the element type that the class doesn't have yet. So for example, the Titan doesn't have a solar subclass yet, and so that's going to be added. The Warlock doesn't have an arc subclass yet, and so that's going to be added. And the Hunter does not have a void subclass yet, and so that will be added. Let's start off with the Titan's new subclass, which is called the Sunbreaker. And the description reads, Incendiary siege engines of war, Sunbreaker Titans hammer and shatter their enemies' ranks from afar, raining cleansing fire down upon fortified defensive positions. So it sounds like that this will be quite an aggressive Titan class, kind of like the Striker Titan, and I'm actually looking forward to using this thing. I like the idea that you can either throw this hammer, which is your super ability, or you can just like whack people on the head with it. I think that's kind of cool. Then we have the new Warlock subclass, which is going to be called the Stormcaller, and the description reads, Stormcallers directly manipulate arc energy, focusing body and mind to channel and chain the lightning. Their enemies are given fair warning, flee from battle or face the storm. So obviously this is going to be the arc subclass for the Warlock, and it does look pretty damn cool. As we saw in the trailer, the super ability is going to allow you to shoot lightning from the palms of your hands and just like take out this massive wave of enemies in front of you, and I think this is going to be a pretty cool ability. I actually can't wait to use this one. I hope that the rest of the subclass is as good as the super was. And finally, we have the new Hunter subclass, which is going to be called Night Stalker, and the description reads, all hunters master the frontier, but none claim territory quite like a Night Stalker. Shadow shot blinding may seem more merciful than gun or blade until the feeding frenzy begins. Now, I'm not sure exactly what the feeding frenzy exactly means. I'm going to assume that this is one of the character's passive abilities or something like that, or maybe it's just a stupid little tag that got us to get hyped for it. But I do hope that this subclass is actually cool. I liked the look of the super. Like it says, it's called Shadow Shot, and it's basically going to be like a gravity bow that you kind of shoot, and it will stun and slow down your enemies. That's what I've learned through reading on other websites, and I do like the sound of this. I was hoping that it was going to be like you could shoot it 3 times, just kind of like the golden gun, or multiple times, I don't really know. I thought it was going to be like just this awesome bow thing that you could use, and it would be really cool, but apparently it's going to be a little bit different than that, which I don't really mind. I think this could work out just as long as it does perform decently. So guys, that is all of the information that we currently have on the Taken King, which will be launching this year on September 15th, which is quite a bit down the road, but it's something that we can get excited for, especially since House of Wolves came out only a month ago, or less than a month ago, I think it must be. It's around a month ago, which is quite exciting, to be honest, because it means that we're going to get new content all the time, and I'm glad we're already learning about the next expansion only a month into this one. So anyways, guys, I want to know your thoughts on the Taken King. Let me know in the comment section below. But thank you guys for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, remember to smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for daily gaming content. For those of you that have stuck around to the end, I just want to say that I do have something planned for 500 subscribers. It's a little bit different to what you might expect. It's not a video. It's more, I'll explain it in a video, but it's going to be something a bit more than a video, and it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, but I just didn't have the time, and so I'm going to put a lot of effort into doing it. But anyways, remember to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Links in the description below, and I'll see you guys in another video. So until then, ciao.